Commander thought about Kim's records and noted that he was a high school dropout. The commander guessed that it must have been challenging for Kim to enroll. He then advised Kim that if he ever plans to become an executive, he should consider taking the GED tests to gain admission to university. Once Kim becomes a staff sergeant, he will be able to commute back and forth and enroll in online programs, and the commander could assist with that process. Kim replied that, since he didn't particularly enjoy studying, advancing through his accomplishments was sufficient for him. The commander agreed, stating that since Kim had to make the decision himself, he wouldn't force him to pursue further education, and asked Kim to let him know if he changed his mind. Kim thanked the commander for his understanding. The commander said he would finalize the report and instructed Kim to get some rest, assuring him that he wouldn't forget Kim's achievements from that day. Kim stood up to salute and said he would take his leave. As he was leaving, the commander noticed Kim's cap and called him back. He told Kim that he had saved the platoon members that day, and if not for Kim, they could have faced a much worse scenario. The commander expressed his gratitude, noting that Kim's actions had made a significant difference, especially since he himself had been unable to move at the time. Kim replied that he had only done what was necessary. As he left, he reflected on his need to acquire demonic energy and build up his accomplishments. Kim then encountered Guang, who had an injured head. Kim was surprised to hear that Guang wanted him to join special training. Kim asked how Guang had discovered that he and the boy had been training there. Guang explained that since Kim had come a long way, he believed Kim had become quite skilled. Guang wanted to join the training because he thought it was thanks to that training that Kim had progressed so well. Kim questioned Guang's intent, asking why he would want to train with Kim and whether there wasn't a proper order of things. Guang bowed to Li, expressing gratitude for saving him and apologizing for his previous behavior. Li asked why Guang was acting this way. Guang explained that he was apologizing for hazing them in the past. Though he wasn't sure if they would forgive him, he was sincere about wanting to train with them. Guang also mentioned having special circumstances and his desire to become a non-commissioned officer. Li then asked Kim if it would be acceptable for Guang to join their training. Kim agreed, though he noted that it wasn't entirely right. Guang, looking saddened, acknowledged that he understood if Kim felt uncomfortable due to his past actions and thanked them once more for saving his life. With a disappointed expression, Guang began to leave. Kim then proposed a condition: Guang would need to act like a pigeon for the next 24 hours, and he would reconsider his decision afterward. Guang, visibly frustrated by the demand, was asked by Kim if he truly wanted to train. Guang reluctantly began to make pigeon noises, goo goo. Kim was pleased to see Guang complying with the condition. The scene shifts to a world where Kim has gained significant power. A knight brings in a creature captured in a cage. A lady appreciates the knight's efforts and, noticing that the man is still present, asks if he has anything to say. The man inquires how long she plans to continue this practice. She replies that she doesn't know. She then examines the beasts in the prison, places them on a magic circle, and teleports them as a gift for Kim. She muses that there is no such thing as too much. The scene shifts back to Kim's world, where he is training as a hunter. Some hunters are engaged in digging, and a red-haired boy named Cho remarks that, although it hasn't been long since they last went to the dungeon, they are already constructing camps. He asks another hunter if he is supposed to be this burdened in his final year. The other hunter responds that it has been like this for a while, but questions whether these camps are truly beneficial for fighting monsters. Cho replied that he didn't know. They saw a truck arrive, and the boy said they had finally received the stetl. The hunters began unloading it. Guang explained that it was called stetl because no one was sure if it was made of stone or metal. It was extremely hard and much heavier than it appeared. Another hunter added that this was why they used it to build the camps. Guang mentioned that it was made from special minerals found in certain dungeons. Kim asked if Guang had said something. Guang saw Aang lifting 2 stones and clarified that he hadn't spoken. After some time, a man announced a 10-minute break. Then, another man approached the platoon commander and reported that while picking up the materials at the division headquarters, he had heard that a tin can dungeon had appeared in the 104th Division area. The others were shocked. Cho asked if it was true, or if the man was joking. A man who was with Cho grabbed the commander and asked if it would be his and Cho's third encounter with such a dungeon. Cho expressed his frustration, saying it was awful. The commander asked everyone to calm down, as the situation was still under investigation. Guang sensed that Kim might not understand, so he explained that a tin-can dungeon is a term hunters use to describe dungeons that meet certain criteria. Firstly, these dungeons are larger than average. Secondly, the number and variety of monsters within them exceed the norm. Thirdly, they do not contain bosses or high-risk monsters, which is why they are referred to as tin-can dungeons. These dungeons are ideal for hunters to gain real battle experience and are often used for divisional training. They are also known for the infamous hunter field maneuvers, which prepare hunters before attempting to clear more challenging dungeons. Kim asked Guang who he was talking to. Guang did not respond. Kim thought that field maneuvers didn't seem like the type of training he needed at the moment, and found it quite frustrating. The commander then mentioned that it was divisional training and an opportunity for them to build up their accomplishments. Kim thought it was a good idea to be in the front lines, where there were many opportunities. It was beneficial for him to be there. Suddenly, his small ghost dragon emerged from his shadow. With its eyes and mouth glowing purple, Kim quickly concealed it and listened as a man told the commander that they didn't need any more accomplishments. Cho then complained about being overburdened in their final year. Kim felt relieved that no one had noticed his pet. The ghost dragon showed him a scene where a lady was speaking to a man. The man asked if this was the request for reinforcements. The lady confirmed it, citing irregular monsters as the reason. The request had come from the investigation team handling the dungeon that appeared in Yangon. The man noted that the dungeon had appeared in a military area. The lady agreed, emphasizing that it was not a civilian locality. She also mentioned that 2 members of the investigation team had lost consciousness suddenly, which was an unusual occurrence. She suspected it might be related to a dungeon that needed to be cleared as soon as possible. The man replied that control of the area should be left to the regular soldiers and that all hunters from Yangon should retreat. The priority was the dungeon that had appeared in the civilian area of Hongqian, so he asked her to send everyone there. She agreed. As Kim watched this unfold, he rested his leg on the ghost dragon and thought that it seemed like a good time to request a day off. Kim entered his room in the city, his belongings in tow, and wondered if he had packed everything. He then noticed a family photo of his commander and recalled that when he was about to take leave, the commander had commented on the large amount of stetl Kim was carrying compared to others at the construction site. The commander had seemed curious about Kim's haste to finish and use his day off, remarking on how different he was. Kim had thanked him for his understanding. The commander then mentioned that Kim's home address was in a restricted area and asked where Kim had stayed during his last leave. Kim replied that he had stayed in a PC room. The commander said that it was as he had suspected and handed Kim a key, offering him the use of an apartment. He explained that the apartment used to belong to Kim's parents, who were currently away on business. The apartment was vacant and well-maintained since Kim had stayed there during his days off. Kim said there was no need for that, but the commander insisted. The commander insisted that the apartment was indeed a better option than staying in a PC room, even though it was farther from the camp. He provided Kim with the address of the apartment. Kim thought that if it was in Chuncheon, it wasn't too bad. The commander told him to take the key, even if he didn't stay at the apartment, and to enjoy his time off before leaving. Kim reflected on the commander's words as he relaxed and then left for work. As he walked through the streets, he remembered a conversation he had overheard. A girl had told someone on the phone that the dungeon was located at a deserted school in Yangkou County and instructed the person to stay 1 kilometer away from it and control the area. Arriving at the site, Kim saw tight police security and realized that no one was allowed to enter. He decided to bypass the security by jumping from rooftops to gain access. After walking for a while, he found the dungeon entrance. As he approached, he wondered what kind of monsters might be inside and recalled that his small ghost dragon was also a type of monster. Upon entering the dungeon, Kim decided he would flee if things turned dangerous. The atmosphere inside was humid. He noticed a broken sword and wondered if there had been a battle. Sensing the presence of a monster, he called out for it to reveal itself. When the monster appeared, Kim couldn't determine if it was a goblin or a kobold, but it was unusually large. He was surprised that the investigation team had survived such a huge monster. The creature lunged at him, but Kim dodged and punched it in the face. only to find that it had no effect. He then kicked it, commenting on how sturdy the monster was, yet it endured the blow without flinching. The monster attacked again, and Kim managed to dodge, noticing that the creature's leg was stuck in the ground. He seized the opportunity to deliver a series of punches, remarking on the monster's toughness. In retaliation, the monster used its claws to strike him, causing his hoodie to tear slightly. Kim picked up the broken sword and reflected that the monsters he had encountered since his return were like ants compared to this one. The current monster reminded him of a Japanese rhinoceros beetle in terms of its durability. The demon grabbed Kim's face, and Kim retorted that even a big bug is still just a bug. He also wondered how the monster would compensate for the damage to his new clothes. Kim drove the broken sword into the monster and used his leg to force it to the ground, then crushed its head. He absorbed a significant amount of demonic energy, along with other rewards. As he reviewed his status window, he noticed he had received a long-range attack skill and was puzzled as to why he had gained the basic swordsmanship skill. He concluded it was due to landing a critical hit and considered himself lucky. Kim also remembered the strange gleaming object he had noticed earlier and wondered about its significance. As he pondered, he felt a black liquid seeping onto his hand. Hi guys, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you enjoy the content.